Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is different because there is more to life than IBS. That said, of course, gut content will keep coming. So today I want to talk about my own experience with Profhilo because this is now my second year doing it, and I've done it on my face, my neck, and even my knees. And I've also filmed the whole process before, immediately after, the next morning, and then 1 month later the second treatment. So people describe Profhilo like some magical anti-aging transformation. In my experience, it's good, but it's more subtle than that. You won't see any dramatic overnight results, but you're likely to look like you've had a good night's sleep or maybe even went on holiday. So, if you're considering Profhilo and wondering whether it's actually worth it, here is my realistic review. First of all, if you don't know what Profhilo is, it's basically an injectable hyaluronic acid treatment designed to improve skin quality rather than completely change your face. So, unlike filter, it's really about adding volume. It's not really about adding volume or sculpting, it's more about hydration, skin texture, elasticity, and overall skin quality. Personally, I started doing it because I noticed the first signs of my skin changing a bit. Nothing dramatic, but I want to look as I do for a longer time, and I'm 41, turning 41. So Profhilo seemed like a good choice in addition to other treatments that I've done. As when you reach a certain age, your skin just doesn't bounce like it used to the same way before, especially around the neck area. And I've also had very saggy knees since I was 25, despite all of the skincare, SPF, workouts, etc. So I wanted something preventative and subtle rather than doing anything extreme that people would immediately see. So let me show you the footage. As you can see, my skin wasn't that bad at all, but I felt like the texture looks slightly tight. The neck area was starting to lose firmness, and there are defined nasolabial folds, commonly known as smile or laugh lines. And my knees definitely weren't ready for a miniskirt for summer season. Now let's talk about the actual treatment. You need to come around 30 minutes early for the numbing cream. So make sure you have your phone charged or you have a book, and it's literally just you sitting there, lying there and waiting, nothing else. The injections themselves are pretty quick. They are very painful, but it's quick. So the whole thing for me, face, neck, and knees lasted less than 20 minutes. And immediately afterwards, you get this little bumps under your skin where the products sit before spreading out. So here in a video, there is a video of me heading back to the office and then in a dreadful office elevator light. So you definitely do not walk out looking refreshed and glowing immediately. So for a few hours you look, well, slightly concerning, so it's best to avoid any in-person meetings, if you can. On Teams, it's fine, it doesn't show. I also had some redness and mild swelling, but nothing dramatic. So this is the footage from the next morning. Most of the pumps have already been done by then. There was still a little swelling, especially around the neck, but overall, it was completely manageable. I personally still wouldn't schedule this right before, like a wedding or important event, though, just in case you bruise or swell more than expected. So personally, I bruise less than an average person. Also, it's not recommended to drink alcohol for 48 hours, and you need to avoid intense workouts. And now let's talk about the actual results 1 month after the second session. There is where I think expectations are really important. Did Profhilo completely transform my face? No. Did I notice an improvement? Yes, especially in the face. So my skin definitely looks more hydrated. As you can see, it's slightly firmer and smoother overall. There is pretty much, so this is pretty much the same angle and lighting as in before videos. And of course, I'm not wearing any makeup. There are absolutely no filters applied. Why would we kill the purpose? And it also gave me that maybe well-rested look without looking like I've had any obvious work done. And honestly, I think this is why a lot of people like Profhilo. The results are, well, quiet. The neck also responded really well, maybe even better than expected. So the skin looks smoother and just healthier. And because its neck is such a difficult area to treat, even a subtle improvement really makes a difference. Now the knees. I know treating knees at 41 sounds like slightly insane, but it's becoming more common, and knee skin can age very, very noticeably. For me, it was definitely the weakest area in terms of results. Did it improve slightly? Yes. The skin quality looked a bit better, a bit smoother, but compared to face and neck, the difference was much less noticeable. And I'm still probably not going to wear a miniskirt this summer, at least at daylight, maybe at night. So if I had to rank everything, face first and neck second, knees last, especially considering the price. And that brings me to the big question. Is Profhilo worth it? Honestly, I think it really depends on expectations on your budget. So I live in London and I paid a total of 3k British pounds for 8 syringes. So 1.5k for each session of 4 syringes, as you need to have 2 sessions spaced out around 4 weeks. Even in London, you can definitely find it cheaper, but I just didn't want to take a risk. Also, doing your knees is not that typical, so if you were to go just for face and neck, or even just face, it would have been much closer to 2k or even 1.5 instead of 3. So if you want dramatic lifting or major anti-aging results, you'll probably be disappointed. If you like subtle treatment, like because you already take decent care of your skin and you want to age gracefully, whatever that means, and you want maintenance rather than transformation, it's a nice treatment. For me personally, I see it more like skin maintenance rather than miracle procedure. So no one has ever looked at me and said, "Oh my God, like what have you done?" Well, people say, "Whoa, how come you be 40?" But I've been hearing it for a long time as I take really good care of my skin overall. So not that I've done Profhilo twice or four if you combine it. I go into it with very realistic expectations. It's subtle, it's gradual, it's definitely not magic, but I do think it works. So if you tried it yourself, please let me know in the comments because I'm genuinely very, very curious. And if you have any questions, leave them below and I will answer very, very honestly. And see you in the next video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you found this useful. Thank you.